From Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse on the campus of Independence High School in San Jose, Bay Voice TV kicks off its winter sports coverage with high school girls basketball. The 2-1 Mountain View Spartans have headed east to take on the 1-0 Independence 76ers in non-league play. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kirsten Fairchild. Glad to have you with us. The Spartans are fresh off a third-place finish in the Pioneer Tournament. 6'2" junior center Kira Palmbush proved difficult to defend. The returning all-league selection has the ability to change the game with her size and her technique. She leads her team in rebounds and block shots and is certainly a difference maker. Independence doesn't have the height of tonight's opponent, but the 76ers can shoot the ball and force turnovers with their defensive intensity. A freshman guard leads the way in scoring. Sophia Mala scored 20 in a win over Overfelt. It's been a few years since these two teams have faced off. Both head coaches know each other well. Consider this an early season test for both ball clubs. Starting lineups when we return. Spartans 76ers coming at you next on Bay Voice TV.
Whoa, what's all the fuss about?
Hey, Ned Neutral. I'm just trying to apply for a job opening, but the page won't load. What's the point of paying my internet service provider if they can't give me simple access to a website?
Well, Sam, that could be the new norm if net neutrality rulings are reversed.
Net neutrality?
Communication is a necessity, which is why the FCC deemed the internet a public utility in 2015.
What does that mean?
It means that the internet was regulated, and internet service providers couldn't block or slow down content that they didn't agree with. But that's all changing now. The FCC plans to reverse net neutrality and give corporations the freedom that they want.
What can they do with this power?
Well, that's the scary part. They can slow down any service that they disagree with, block news outlets, or bring your web pages to a halt.
That's horrible. We as consumers need to have our voices heard and tell them to keep an open internet.
You better do it fast, because if net neutrality is restricted, then you might not have the platform to speak through.
Why is that?
Because the open internet is a platform for marginalized voices, if you want to question large internet providers, you will receive a one-way ticket to access denied.
Content removal, information restriction, speed throttling? It's just not fair. The public deserves equal access to the internet.
So call your representative, contact the FCC, let them know how you feel, and fight for an open and fair internet.
Hello? Ned? Anyone there?
Mountain View controls the tip. Palmbush misses the bucket, and great scrappy play. Turnover, and here's Mountain View left to right in their traveling black and gold uniforms. 2-1 record for the Spartans. See motion offense from both teams. They'll be running set plays as well. Loose ball underneath the basket. Palmbush. And the ball rolling Mountain View's way. Sloppy play here in the early going. Another miss, and Palmbush clears it up. No, they're going to say no basket. Instead, they're going to call her for three in the key, and it's Independence ball. The 76ers playing at home, Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse. Thank you for joining us on Bay Voice TV, a non-league contest. As I mentioned in the open, first time in a couple of years these two programs have faced off. Three attempt from the right wing. It's an air ball, and it's a weak side board. by Mountain View. Stephanie Evanson will get to the starting lineups at our first dead ball. Mountain View Spartans with a serious height advantage. And they back it up, reset the offense. Here's Evanson on the right side. Palmbush straight away beyond the arc. 7 to shoot for Mountain View on the shot clock. First quarter action doesn't hit the rim. And it's a defensive rebound for Van Lee of the Independence 76ers off the fast break. It's Carla Lagme, the point guard, who lets the ball hit her in the thighs and roll out of bounds. Independence 76ers just one game this season, a win over Overfelt. They play a full court pressure man defense, as you can see. We'll see a lot of man defense from Independence tonight. Great fast break, and Palmbush misses the follow. Couple of offensive rebounds missing before Palmbush scores her third and fourth point. Independence down 4-0. 2 minutes gone. Pardon me, that is the first and second point, as that basket was waived due to the 3 in the key. And it rolls out of bounds. It'll stay Independence ball. Independence coached by Fred Yepes in his third season. His counterpart today, Xavier Cook, in his second at the helm of Mountain View. Long distance 2 misses. Independence really struggling shooting the ball here in the early going. Spartans putting it on the floor. The runner. It will count. And that is Audrey Telkamp, the 6-foot sophomore strong forward, and she's at the line to attempt a traditional three-point play. And Telkamp converts. 5-0 Independence trails right to left on their home floor. Lagme brings it up. 3 attempt from the left wing, hits the top of the backboard. Offensive rebound and a foul. Telkamp picks up her first personal, first team foul. And at the line is Natalie Medina, the 5'5" senior. Post player earning the spot today due to some injuries to a couple of starters. However, so early in the season, these starting positions aren't set in stone. Misses her first and her second. Palmbush easily for the rebound. Mountain View playing with a 5-0 lead. 2 attempt goes down, and it's the first bucket for Shireen Estramera, the 5'4" senior guard. Independence calls a timeout, trailing 7-0. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Mountain View Spartans. The point guard wears number 14, Pallavi Lodia, the 5'1" senior. The shooting guard, number 23, Shireen Estramera, the 5'4" senior. The wing, Audrey Telkamp, wears number 11. She's a 6-foot sophomore. Stephanie Evanson, a 5'10" sophomore, plays a strong forward position. She wears number 43, and of course we've already seen the center in action. Kira Palmbush, the 6'2" junior, will have Independence starters at the next dead ball. Both teams really get after it on defensive intensity. Independence still looking for its first points. Long distance 2, the baseline, back iron. Chased down by the 76ers, but into the hands of a Spartan. Here's Evanson. 3, back iron, weak side board by Mala, the freshman. On the fast break, Independence finally at 4:30 remaining in the first quarter. Independence on the scoreboard, now trailing 7-2. looking for a turnover, and Mountain View can't save it. So Independence able to get the stop. See if the home team can make it count as Mala to inbound. Independence making its first substitution. In comes number 5, Oslin Nguyen, the 5'2" senior guard, replacing Lohara out on the floor. Mala, who had 20 points in her first game as a high school girls basketball player. No whistle. And it's Van Lee with the rebound. Lee problems dribbling, however. And Mountain View with the steal. Wide open look for the left-hander, and it's Lodia with the field goal. Mountain View on top 9-2 inside 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Wide open long distance two. Independence crashes the boards, but Palm Bush with the reach. Estremera, short, and it's Lagme. Lagme bringing the ball up in a hurry and bounces it off a Mountain View foot. Lagme with the baseline shot to clip the lead to 5. Fast break, easily broken by Mountain View. Estremera with the wide open layup. No one given chase for Independence. And the 76ers throw it away as in checks number 15 for Independence, the 5'3" sophomore guard, Enria Galindo, as Lagme earns herself a rest. Just inside 3 minutes. And it'll be Lodia heading to the line to shoot 2. Second foul, second team foul on Independence, first on Medina. As the Spartans check in, nope, she's gonna have to wait for the second shot. And then we'll see number 32, Maya Lawrence, the 6'1" senior forward. A miss from Lodia. Lawrence comes on, as well as number 4, Brianna Bascacci, the 5'5" senior guard. Chance for Lodia to make this an 8-point game. Miss Palmbush easily. However, Palmbush missing her putbacks. And it is Mala. 2-on-2 for Independence. Mala going coast to coast, but a wild layup. And it's a defensive rebound by Mountain View. Piscacci with the ball. Great look inside, and that's a terrific finish by Lawrence. Good play run by the players off the bench. It's a 13-14 Mountain View lead. 2:20 remaining in the first. The 76ers struggling to get their offense going. Pass into the post. And they're going to say last touch Mountain View. So 18 on the shot clock, 2:12 in regulation, first quarter action. In Independence High School's red, white, and blue gymnasium. Galindo to inbound. Here's Mala. Mala. The runner misses, chases down her own rebound, and fresh shot clock as 2 minutes remaining. Independence really struggling getting the ball inside. And another turnover. Mountain View with numbers for the fast break. And a friendly roll for Bascacci, 15-4 Spartans, 1:35 remaining in the first. Almost a steal, another steal. And jump ball stays with Independence as Lagme, the sophomore guard, returns, as well as Lohara. Off comes Nguyen and Galindo. Spartans check in number 20, Caitlin Higa, the 4'11" junior guard. as Teltkamp earns herself a rest. O'Hara to inbound. Independence. First block shot. Palmbush always ready with that outlet pass. And that's going to be a blocking foul on Kim Trong. Trong, the 5'9" freshman forward. Third Independence team foul. Kim Trong's first personal. Minute 17 remaining in the first. That's just aggressive defense, too aggressive. And that's Lagmay's first personal. Stops the clock with 1:10 remaining. Independence sticking in this man defense. Pass into Palmbush. Palmbush from the right low post. 17-4 Mountain View. Inside a minute left to play as Independence brings it up. Wide open look. Back iron looked good. And the steal from O'Hara, who had the miss and then throws it away. So Independence, you appreciate the intensity, but they're also rushing and not taking that moment to be clear as to where they're passing and squaring up for the basket. Wagner blowing past the defender. Wagner, no whistle. And this should be Independence ball. Backcourt violation. Stops the clock with 22.9 seconds remaining, and that allows Victoria Trong, the 5'3" junior guard, who wears number 10, to check in. No relation to Kim. In Mountain View, checks in the 5'8" sophomore Rachel Dove, who plays the wing position. She wears number 21. 2-3 zone defense by Mountain View has proven problematic for Independence. And another steal. Mountain View looking for the fast break. They do great job getting up and down the floor. That was partially deflected. 4 seconds remaining. And Independence won't get the shot off. The crowd really failed Independence there. Got to count them down. So after one quarter, it's the visiting Mountain View Spartans up 17-4 over the home team, the Independence 76ers.
Oh, come on.
Whoa, what's all the fuss about?
Hey, Ned Neutral. I'm just trying to apply for a job opening, but the page won't load. What's the point of paying my internet service provider if they can't give me simple access to a website?
Well, Sam, that could be the new norm if net neutrality rulings are reversed.
Net neutrality?
Communication is a necessity, which is why the FCC deemed the internet a public utility in 2015.
What does that mean?
It means that the internet was regulated, and internet service providers couldn't block or slow down content that they didn't agree with. But that's all changing now. The FCC plans to reverse net neutrality and give corporations the freedom that they want.
What can they do with this power?
Well, that's the scary part. They can slow down any service that they disagree with, block news outlets, or bring your web pages to a halt.
That's horrible. We as consumers need to have our voices heard and tell them to keep an open internet.
You better do it fast, because if net neutrality is restricted, then you might not have the platform to speak through.
Why is that?
Because the open internet is a platform for marginalized voices, if you want to question large internet providers, you will receive a one-way ticket to access denied.
Content removal, information restriction, speed throttling? It's just not fair. The public deserves equal access to the internet.
So call your representative, contact the FCC, let them know how you feel, and fight for an open and fair internet.
Hello? Ned? Anyone there?
First possession of the second quarter, the Mountain View Spartans. Mulla, the freshman, with the steal, but knocked away from behind by her fellow freshman, the 5'6" Mountain View guard. Independence, great look inside, but trouble's catching the ball, and it'll be jump ball. Should stay Independence ball. It does with 22 seconds left on the shot clock. The story of the first quarter, Mountain View's height advantage, the presence of Palm Bush down low. Palm Bush, the 6'2" junior center, on the bench to start things off in the first quarter. Independence had some positives toward the end of the quarter, but as I mentioned, I felt like they were rushing a lot, and that is still evident. Bounce pass, top of the key. Shot clock winding down, and heading to the line to shoot two will be Van Lee. That foul on Wagner. Second Mountain View team foul, and Van Lee at the line, a 3-year varsity player for head coach Fred Yepez. Earned the start tonight when the 5'10" junior center Gurpal Kaur could not go because of an ankle injury. 1 of 2 effort. Wagner with the rebound. Loose ball and stolen by Independence. Pretty rough and tumble play, and that's going to be a double dribble on Independence. So we're seeing the defensive intensity of the 76ers forcing turnovers. However, Independence, for the most part, has not been able to make that turn up on the scoreboard. Mountain View on the fast break, stolen. Pass ahead. And Independence saves it. Get the feeling that if the 76ers could just take half a breath or a breath, doing some good things, but then rushing. Minute gone here in the second quarter. Independence really has struggled to get the ball into the paint due to the height disadvantage. 5 to shoot. And a blocked shot. Independence going to have to shoot, and instead it's a shot clock violation. And you can credit the defense of the 6'1" senior Maya Lawrence. Where's number 32 with the shot block? Alyssa Stein, the 5'5" sophomore guard, replaces Wagner out on the floor for Mountain View, and timeout on the floor. And even though it's a quarter past, let's go ahead and meet the starting lineup of Independence. Again, a late start for us here, and Independence, Carla Lagme, the 5'2" sophomore point guard, got the start today. Sophia Molly, the 5'4" freshman guard, is the shooting guard. The wing, Chloe Luhara, the 5'2" senior guard. The small forward, 5'5", or another wing actually, Natalie Medina. And Van Lee, the center, the 5'4" senior. Independence coached by Fred Yepez in his 3rd year, and Xavier Cook, as mentioned, the head coach of Mountain View in the 2nd year. And the reason for this non-league game is these head coaches are friends. In fact, have coached against each other for years and also coached on the same staff together. And it's been a few years since Independence and Mountain View have squared off, but because of the coaches' friendships, they scheduled this game. 6:30 left to go in the first half. Mountain View up 17-5 and looking for more. An air ball, and it's Van Lee with the rebound. Mala. They're going to call a blocking foul on Boscacci. Third Mountain View team foul. Mala to inbound. Independence with just one game under their belt here in the young season. Medina. Over to Lee. Long distance three. Doesn't hit anything, and Independence can't save it. Mountain View ball. 76ers can't get the ball in the paint, and perhaps not making the best shot selections outside of the paint. We'll see if that improves as the game goes on. Mountain View just run in the fast break, as I'm sure they do in practice. Dove, the sophomore, with the finish, 19-5. The Spartans making a statement here in the first half. Victoria Trong with the ball. Man defense from Mountain View, the first time they've showed that tonight. Steal by Lawrence. And Mala with the steal of her own. Independence looking to run the fast break. High off the glass. Loose ball in the hands of Dove. Boscacci for three. Unfriendly bounce on the Independence rim. 1-on-2 for Victoria Trong. Too hard. Boscacci with the rebound. Trong staying with it. Strong. It's back and forth we go with stolen ball, and they're going to say Independence ball as Lagme returns, as well as Galindo. It'll be Lagme, the sophomore, to inbound. Block shot. And whereas Mountain View was beating Independence to the ball in the first quarter, that's not the case here. Both teams with 4 fouls apiece. I believe that was on Higa. Runner. And Lagme went down hard. She's going to need to be helped up. That foul on Martin. And it sends Lagme to the line. Sophomore point guard of this very young Independence team. Her head coach said Lagme handles the ball so well. Obviously, that's why she's the point guard. But he said she also can surprise you with what he called the circus shot. We'll keep our eyes open for that. But right now, more importantly, how is she shooting her free throws? 2 of 2 effort from the sophomore. 4:50 left to go in the first half. Mountain View up 19-7, but the score has stalled for the Spartans. Dove passing off. Dove with the rebound, gets it to Palmbush, and Palmbush comes out, and Independence able to get away with a defensive stop. Mala with the runner from the free throw line. She's done that a couple of times, and then the ball bounces Independence way. A lot of second chance shots for Independence. Palmbush, better technique as she goes up strong for the defensive board. Nearing the midway mark of the second quarter, it'll be Mountain View to inbound, and a rare chance to set up their half-court offense as they obviously trying to score in transition. Lodia returns for the Spartans as Higa has a seat. Lodia. Mountain View. And the steal by Van Lee. She's played well tonight in her first start this season. Independence, the best. Fast break run by Independence, and then landing at the feet of our camera person. Good job. Camera work as well as Lagme gets to the line to try to make it a 3 of 3 night from the charity stripe. 3 come in for Mountain View, Evanston, Estremera, and Telkamp. Starting 5 out on the floor for Mountain View as their lead has shrunk to 10. First miss for Lagme from the foul line tonight. Mountain View. Baseline jumper. Palmbush from the left post. Misses. Her teammate. Mountain View, and they're going to call a flat foul. Must have been some contact down low because it looked like all ball up top, and that will send Kira Palmbush, 6'2" junior center, to the line with 3:38 remaining. 5th Independence team foul. Palmbush, a significant factor in Mountain View's terrific season in volleyball this year. Mountain View reaching the CCS D1 championship match. Palmbush being recruited for volleyball. Kim Trong and Medina back out on the floor for Independence. Kim Trong with the rebound. Nguyen, 3 attempt. Independence doing a much better job on the boards. And Palmbush with another steal, but then gives it right back. This is where you'd like to see Independence take a second. That's just an impossible angle. I think the 76ers, it's so intense and so wild. And the bench now screaming, bring it up top, and that's exactly what Lagme does. Lagme working on Estremera. Lagme for 3. And the weak side board by Telkamp. Here's Evanson. Lodi. Wide open 3 for Mountain View. Short. And rebound by Medina. Medina, 2-on-1 for Mountain View. Medina will head to the line to shoot 2. So Mountain View, which really dominated with a fast break in the first quarter, now chasing Independence. That's the 7th team foul on Mountain View, but it's a shooting foul, and that'll mean Medina will shoot 2. 2:31 remaining in the first half. Medina expected to carry the leadership load today, according to her head coach. 5'5" senior, getting the start. Her first start of the season. Chance to make it a single-digit deficit, and she does. Mountain View with a 19-10 lead. Again, the scoring has stalled for the Spartans. Estremera finding Palmbush. Mountain View has had some beautiful fast breaks run today, and that was one of them. Deficit double-digit again for Independence, trailing 21-10. Mala going baseline, stops. She has yet to find her form, and Palmbush keeps Independence. One shot and done. Again, the fast break by the Spartans, everything but finished. Estremera feed into Palmbush. That's a great look. Credit Estremera with the assist, 23-10. Mountain View leads on defense, playing the 2-3. Proved problematic for Independence in the first quarter, and ever since the starters came back on, that's exactly the case. Spartans throw it away on that possession, however, and with 1:24 remaining, Independence trailing 23-10. Lagme getting double teamed right away, and Independence loses control. Lohara couldn't hold on to it. So the quality of play for Mountain View really picked up once their starters returned. Not necessarily that the reserves were doing anything wrong. They just, Mountain View has changed their defense, and it's really shown they're able to run the fast break more efficiently with Palm Bush in for the defensive rebounding. There's another example. That's 25-10. Independence. Now the score is stalled. Stolen by Telkamp. And they're going to call a dribbling violation. And with 47 seconds remaining in the first half, Lee returns. Kim Trong has a seat. And it'll be Independence ball on the far sideline. Freshman inbounding to sophomore. And here comes that defensive pressure. Telkamp with another steal. Evanson. Estremera sends it back up, and Lodia with the runner. Back iron, loose ball, and Independence comes up with it. 24 seconds remaining, and Independence electing not to hold for the final shot. And it'll be Mountain View ball with 20 seconds remaining. So I think in the early going we saw the shot clock wind down, but that hasn't been the case as it's pedal to the metal for both of these teams. 12.1 seconds remain. Independence with possession after the Mountain View turnover. Lagme picks it up. Here comes that defense. Another steal by Telkamp. Independence with the steal. We're back. 2 seconds remaining. 3 attempt. Independence needed it. Instead, both teams will head into the locker room. Mountain View on top, 25-10. You're watching Bay Voice TV's coverage of high school girls basketball. Back with our halftime show in just a few minutes.
This show sucks.
What the?
Don't like this program? Did you know you could create your own?
Really?
Yeah.
What the?
First, there are a few things you need to know about copyright. Copyright is any intellectual property that is protected by law, such as literature, movies, music, and more. If you want to use intellectual property, you must get permission from the owner.
But what if we can't get permission?
Legally, you can't use it because you would be at risk of content removal and lawsuits. However, copyright fosters new and innovative ideas.
If I want to produce content, but I can't get permission for intellectual property?
We can use our own creativity.
Copyright! Just remember, copyright is all around us, which means I must be going.
Cool. Now I want to make my own video.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bay Voice TV halftime show. In the first quarter, all Mountain View. The Spartans have played 2 more games than their opponent in the early part of the season, and it shows as Kira Palmbush with the height advantage and Mountain View just dominating the glass in the early going. Spartans just able to force Independence into making bad shots, poor shot selection, and throwing the ball away. It would be a different story for Independence in the second quarter, but that's how this game began, as Mountain View looking once again for another shot. Independence here running the fast break of their own. 76ers love to get out and run and transition. The same could be said for Mountain View. Defensive intensity also the name of the game. The refs letting them play tonight. Palmbush, who led her team with 8 points. There's 2 of them there. And Independence getting to the line, but only one player has really had success, and that's Carla Lagme. Lagme with 8 points for Independence. Just 2 of her teammates have scored, and she had the opportunity there to make it a 3-point play. Once the starters came back on the floor for Mountain View in the second quarter, including Palm Bush, they were able to extend their lead to 25-10 at the break. So as mentioned, Lagme with 8, Medina and Lee with just 1. Only 3 players have scored for Independence. For Mountain View, 6 players have scored. Telkamp has 5, and as mentioned, Palm Bush has had 8. We're going to keep it right here and just transition from our halftime show into the second half. And head coach, Fred Yepez, that you're looking at, in his 3rd year, Coach Yepez has been coaching at a number of schools in the area, and also has coached with his counterpart tonight, Xavier Cook. And there is Fred Yepez in his 3rd year. He actually played football at high school. He was a starting left tackle for Fremont High School in Sunnyvale. And his team will have the first possession of the second half, going left to right here on their home floor in the Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse. Lagme, the leading scorer in the first half, with the ball, and it's this 2-3 zone from Mountain View, which has really been problematic for Independence in the first half. Mala, the freshman, over an outstretched Palm Bush, and Mala, who scored 20 in the season opener, with her first points in this ball game. Another fast break from Mountain View. However, the miss, and Independence with the rebound. Mala taking it to Palm Bush. This time it doesn't fall, and Mountain View fights hard for the rebound. Telkamp out to Estremera. 3 returning starters for this Mountain View team from last year: Estremera, Evanson, and Palm Bush. This is Estremera. Kicks it out for Evanson. Evanson rims out and into the hands of Lohara. Lohara in the ball, bouncing Independence's way. Medina with the bucket. Deficit now 11. Both teams qualified for the Central Coast Section tournament last year. Both defeated in the first round. More on that. Great look inside to Palm Bush. Palm Bush, this time from the right side off the glass. She's got 10 points. 13-point deficit for Independence. Off the foot. Mountain View can't keep it playable. Refs really letting them play tonight. So much so I really haven't had an opportunity to introduce them. Trevor Kozacek on the far sideline. Dennis Morse underneath the basket. Here's Mala. Mala got the green light, I think, at the break. I think head coach said, you need to shoot the ball more. And the whistle blows. And it's Dennis Morse with a full explanation. Too much contact in the back. First team foul of the second half. Almost a minute gone here in the third quarter. And thrown away. Evanson with the steal. Double team from Independence. Mountain View able to evade it. There's Palm Bush. And again, the 6'2" junior center. She loves that right post, the low post. With Independence's tallest player out with an ankle injury, Palm Bush really having her way. Independence, though, earning themselves some second chances here. However, still looking for some quality shot selection. Mala. Cross-court pass. Short, and Estremera collects. Pallavi Lodia bringing it up. First year starting for the senior. Mountain View graduated Sophie Tobin last year, who averaged 15 points a game, a lot of assists and steals, really tough to replace. Sophie Tobin as Independence checks in Galindo. And the inbound play run for perfection. And Palmbush with a big smile. Why not? She's just scoring at will here in the third quarter. 31-14, Independence trails. Palmbush. That's a great move by Medina. I think Independence was scared to go, well, I don't know if scared is the right word, reluctant to go challenge Palmbush in the first half, but I think coach said, hey, you know what, make her defend you. Let's make her commit fouls. Palmbush again. Independence just right now doesn't have a way to stop her. Ball bounces Independence way, no call. Here's Muller for three. 76ers still looking for their first three of the ball game, and it's Esther Mera with plenty of time. Independence calls a timeout, stops the clock with 4:07 in the third quarter as Mountain View's lead has grown to 19. And let's take a closer look at the Mountain View Spartans. Last year they went 14-10 overall, 6-6 to finish fourth in the Santa Clara Valley Athletic League De Anza division, behind league champ Palo Alto, second place Los Gatos, and third place Gunn. In their final league game of the season, Mountain View lost to Gunn by 5 in overtime, that was the difference between third and fourth. They advanced to CCS, losing to Lee in the quarterfinals. I mentioned head coach Xavier Cook is in his second year at the helm. He's been coaching high school basketball for 23 years, including at his alma mater, Silver Creek, where he coached for 3 years. Coached for Los Gatos High for 11 years. He's a 1986 Silver Creek grad and enlisted in the Army after high school. And he was the assistant here to Fred Yepez in Fred Yepez's first year before taking the job at Mountain View. So no secrets between these two. In fact, when they were going over their offenses with me, I mean, very similar. They sat next to each other and chatted throughout the junior varsity team. Very good friends, which is one of the reasons why this game is taking place. Independence ball out of the timeout. Nearly getting stripped. Good numbers for Independence over Palmbush. And the bucket by Galindo. Because of so few ball stoppages or points scored, Independence has really not been able to set up their full court pressure defense. From the left side with the right hand by Evanson. It's a 37-18 Mountain View lead. And that's a walk. I'd like to see Lagmay's teammates come back and help her when Mountain View brings that double team. We'll see if Lagmay can do a better job finding the open teammate as the Spartans call a timeout. 3:21 remaining. Mountain View up 37-18 as we turn our attention to the Independence huddle. And we saw Fred Yepez in his third year. Fred Yepez, I mentioned, a football player at Fremont Sunnyvale. And last year, Independence 10-15 overall. Went 10-4 to finish tied for second in the Blossom Valley Athletic League East Division with Evergreen Valley. Silver Creek won that division. If you remember last year, they separated the divisions in logistically or geographically, I should say, and that was the East Division. And in the CCS D1 tournament, they lost to Milpitas. And the turnover by Mountain View out of the timeout, Independence ball. Independence returns 7 players from last year's team, 2 starters. Very young team this year. Mulla, the freshman. And coming my way. Knocked out of bounds by Telkamp. Lee and Lohara return for Independence. As off comes Galindo and Medina. Legme kicks it out to Mala. Mala for three. Independence needs it. They get it. 5 points for Mala, coming off a 20-point performance in the season opener. Palmbush. It's a good use of the glass by Lodia. 39-21, 2:30 remaining in the third quarter. Independence on defense, trailing at home. Lodia comes right back with the steal. And fast break from Mountain View short. Evanson missed. Telkamp missed. Evanson. And we've got a whistle. They're going to call a foul on Independence. First team foul in the second half. That foul on Mala. As Evanson makes her first. 5'10" sophomore, the shortest of the post players that Coach Cook starts, but he says the toughest. Started last year for the Spartans as a freshman. And it's a 20-point lead with 2:16 remaining in the third for Mountain View. Mala with the runner. Rebound Telkamp. Estremera brings it up to Higa, who checked in. Telkamp with the feed. Telkamp for three, right wing. Mountain View responds with a tray. Biggest lead of the night for the Spartans. Mala threading the needle, and again the runner rims out, and Palmbush with the defensive rebound. Outlet to Estremera. Estremera has Telkamp on the left side, and Telkamp in the air with the finish, and Legme needs a moment to get up off the floor. Mountain View cruising here in the third quarter. A three from Galindo right in front of her bench. And her bench players cheering her on. So 2 threes here in the latter point of the third, but then Mountain View just comes right back, and Palmbush just having her way in the paint tonight. 45 seconds left to play in the third. And the steal by Palmbush. Mountain View just continues to push the pace. And Independence looking for a fast break of their own with 25 seconds remaining. And Palmbush not all ball, so Chloe Lohara will head to the line to shoot two. It's a second team foul on Mountain View. Lohara, the 3-year varsity player, actually hurt her ankle in volleyball last year, and it took a long time to recover. Missed a month this year of volleyball season, which was not exactly the worst news for her basketball coach, who felt she had a lot more energy this year. He says she's really the heart and soul of the team. If he had to pick one player, she's such a gritty competitor, makes her first. And a 2-of-2 effort from Lohara. 48-26. Shot clock's turned off, 20 seconds remaining. And a miss by Lawrence, who checked in at the dead ball. And with no time, or pardon me, 10 seconds remaining, fast rake by Independence. Galindo with the bucket. Independence looking for the steal. Mountain View not going to make that last second shot, but Independence has narrowed the gap, but the Spartans up by 20 as we'll step aside and return with the fourth quarter on Bay Voice TV.
This show sucks.
What the?
Don't like this program? Did you know you could create your own?
Really?
Yeah.
What the?
First, there are a few things you need to know about copyright. Copyright is any intellectual property that is protected by law, such as literature, movies, music, and more. If you want to use intellectual property, you must get permission from the owner.
But what if we can't get permission?
Legally, you can't use it because you would be at risk of content removal and lawsuits. However, copyright fosters new and innovative ideas.
If I want to produce content, but I can't get permission for intellectual property?
We can use our own creativity.
Copyright! Just remember, copyright is all around us, which means I must be going.
Cool. Now I want to make my own video.
Yeah.
A Mountain View miss to start the fourth quarter. The Spartans up 48-28. Loose ball and a tussle for the ball. It should be Independence ball. Welcome to Bay Voice TV's coverage of the Winter Sports, our first Winter Sport broadcast of the 2017-18 school year. We're at Independence High School in San Jose for non-league action between the 1-0 Independence 76ers and the 2-1 Mountain View Spartans. Mountain View with the steal. It's Stephanie Evanson, the sophomore. Denied. Pass into the paint. And on the fast break, Independence. It'll be Enria Galindo, the 5'3" sophomore guard, heading to the line to shoot two. That foul on Higa, her second personal. Third Mountain View team foul. Galindo misses her first as Mala replaces Lohara. Both shots missed, but Independence saves it. Block, however, by Evanson. Mountain View ball. And then Higa throws it away. Mountain View's played 2 extra games and in fact competed in a tournament where they went 2-1 for third place in the Pioneer Tournament. The one loss coming to Notre Dame of San Jose. And then beating Oak Grove in the third place game. Independence. Lawrence with the rebound. Wagner will head to the line to shoot two. Sophie Wagner, the 5'6" freshman. Mountain View opened their season with a 51-32 win over Santa Teresa. And that loss I referenced to Notre Dame of San Jose by 9, 40-31, and then came right back with a win over Oak Grove, 61-34 in that third place game. Martin had the rebound from the left elbow and into the hands of O'Hara. Loose ball. And Mountain View grabs it. This is Wagner. Wagner will head to the line yet again. That foul on Lee. Both teams with 3 fouls apiece. Two freshmen on this Mountain View roster, and both are on the floor, in Wagner and Martin. And Wagner struggling at the stripe. Independence ball. 6:26 remaining in regulation. Independence looking for its first points of the 4th quarter. And that's just a great job by O'Hara to get to the line. Pardon me, they're going to say that foul was on the floor. Leg made to inbound. Independence facing this 2-3 zone. Nice head fake. But the miss by O'Hara. They're going to call a foul on Mala. Pardon me. On Huang Nguyen, the 5'4" senior guard. He checked in. No relation to Ostlin. Inside 6 minutes. Mountain View has led throughout, able to put up a big lead early. Lawrence gets stripped from behind. Independence's 2nd game of the season. 2 starters from the season opener out with ankle injuries, not suited up today. Another turnover from the 76ers. Wagner for 3. The miss, and you really see the height advantage of Lawrence at 6'1". It's not Palmbush at 6'2". It's Lawrence at 6'1". Telkamp stands 6 feet. Mountain View, one of the taller teams. Independence head coach Fred Yepes said that in the area, in the section, none of them are seniors either. As Independence brings in 3. Number 14, Deani Salome, the 5'3" senior guard, makes her first appearance in the game. And 4:52, timeout called by Mountain View. The Spartans in control. Mountain View will next be in action 2 days from now at Gunderson as non-league play continues. And Independence. Oh, I have to get to you with that. There's my Independence schedule. Independence will host Lynbrook 2 days from now. 76ers open their season with a 48-24 win over Overfelt. And remember, Sophia Mala, the freshman, with 20 points in that victory. As our hard-working crew here for a midweek game. Really excited about the Bay Voice TV endeavor. We'll have more games throughout the winter season. As this non-league contest out of the timeout, 4:52 remaining in the ball game. Mala for 3. Back iron. Another rebound by Lawrence. Martin, the freshman. Kim Trong, another freshman. Great fast break to another freshman. And the takeaway and bucket by Galindo, the sophomore. Galindo's had some good minutes off the bench tonight. Higa with the feed. Mountain View No finish on the fast break, and loose ball, jump ball. Oslin Nguyen back on the floor for Independence as Legme has a seat. Rachel Dove returns for Mountain View, and she'll inbound as Alyssa Stein earns a rest on the Mountain View bench. Deflection. Here comes Salome. Salome gets it stripped from behind. So taking care of the ball, and that's going to be a foul on Kim Trong. Taking care of the ball, an issue for both teams. It's the 5th Independence team foul. Higa running the point. Wagner, too hard. 3 attempt. Short. Ball continuing to bounce Mountain View's way. 3:45 left to go. Double team from Independence. As the Spartans kick it up top. Independence with the steal. It's Oslin Nguyen. Nguyen doesn't fall, and there's Higa to collect. Perhaps Nguyen hearing Rachel Dove's footsteps right behind her. Mala will have to chase it down, and she saves it. It's a real up-tempo game from both teams. You wonder so early in the season, especially for Independence, is, you know, fitness is where it needs to be. Long distance 2, rims out. Just a great effort by Higa. Doesn't turn out for her, but coaches like to see that defensive intensity. Loose ball underneath the basket. And timeout Independence. 2:49 remaining, 51-30. The Mountain View Spartans lead the Independence, their mascot, the 76ers. And that's because the school was founded in 1976. Its address is 1776 Educational Park Drive. This field house, Dan Fukushima, was built in 1985. The football stadium, which we've certainly been here for action for football. The Lee Evans Jim Plunkett International Sports Stadium with brand new lights this year. And Independence always seems to volunteer their sites for the Central Coast Section playoffs. And I have been told by members of the Central Coast Section, assistant commissioners and commissioner, how much they appreciate when schools do volunteer to host playoff sites. And when you have facilities as nice as this Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse and the sports stadium, it's just a great environment. A big thanks to the athletic director, Ann Finney, for her hospitality tonight for our Bay Voice TV crew. Out of the timeout, it's Independence ball, trailing 51-30 with 2:49 remaining. Lagme gets it off to Victoria Trong. Lagme with the runner with the left hand. And it'll be Salome heading to the line to shoot 2. That foul on Telkamp, who looks at her coach like, I didn't do anything. And he said, yes, you did. Salome misses her first. And a 1 of 2 effort from Salome. 20-point ball game with 2:42 left to play. Mountain View comes right back, able to break the press. However, the ball thrown away. Number 10 for Mountain View checked in, the 5'4" senior guard, Lonnie Forrest. Palmbush back out on the floor as well. When you look at the scorebook, she will be the difference maker. But Mountain View hasn't given up a lot of height as Palmbush picks up her 3rd foul. Nope, they're going to call it on Telkamp. Telkamp, I think, is feeling a little picked on at this point. That's a 6-team foul, but it's a shooting foul, and Legme at the line. Leading scorer in the first half with 8 points. She spent a number of minutes on the bench here in the second. 2 of 4 effort from the line for her thus far. Make that 3 of 5. 19-point lead for Mountain View. Dove. And they're going to say last touch Independence. Forced over to inbound. Oslin Nguyen returns for Independence, as well as Huang Nguyen. As mentioned, no relation. Palmbush kicks it out. Long distance 2. And they're going to call Victoria Trong immediately on the walk, on the travel, and Mountain View stay in their half court. Forrest with the feed to Telkamp, who tries to get over to Palmbush. That should have been a walk, but no call. Palmbush with the miss. And the takeaway from Mountain View. Independence really struggling, but now looking to get it into their half-court offense. Bounce pass. It's the perfect example of not stopping to square up the shoulders, to square up for the shot. As the officials letting him play here. Salome. The follow, and cleaning it up is Huang Nguyen with 1:23 remaining, 51-34. Salome with the steal. Good minutes for her off the bench, and then thrown away. I think especially in the early part of the season when you're playing up-tempo basketball, when you're playing full-court pressure defense, when you're playing man-to-man defense, it's so easy just to always play in 5th gear or 4th gear. And I think that Independence, when they have those opportunities to take a breath, take that moment to have more control, I think it will serve them well as the season goes on, and to a certain extent Mountain View. But Mountain View here playing its 4th game of the season doesn't look as rusty, looks a little more polished. 1:07 left to play. Knocked out of bounds by Independence. Great look, and you can't run an inbound play better than that. Forrest with the inbound, Dove with the bucket, and she'll head to the line to shoot 1. I believe that foul was on Oslin Nguyen. Both teams have committed 6 fouls apiece. And a 3-point play converted by the sophomore, Rachel Dove. See what Independence runs here. Flashing through the key. And then the runner, not a lot of arc by the shot by Oslin Nguyen on the release, but it goes down. 45 seconds remaining in the game. Telkamp. Great feed from by Palmbush. She's got an assist going as well. Probably not her first. 30 seconds left to go. 2-second differential between game clock and shot clock. And the runner with the left hand, back iron. Defensive rebound, Telkamp. Head coach asking his team to hold up, no shot, as 5 seconds remaining. So the Mountain View Spartans will pick up win number 3 to the 1 loss. It's a 20-point victory, 56-36, as Mountain View traveled the 17 miles over here to Independence High School in San Jose. Independence will move to 1-1 overall. We'll step away and return with our Bay Voice TV postgame show. The Mountain View Spartans with a 56-36 win tonight.
Oh, come on.
Whoa, what's all the fuss about?
Hey, Ned Neutral. I'm just trying to apply for a job opening, but the page won't load. What's the point of paying my internet service provider if they can't give me simple access to a website?
Well, Sam, that could be the new norm if net neutrality rulings are reversed.
Net neutrality?
Communication is a necessity, which is why the FCC deemed the internet a public utility in 2015.
What does that mean?
It means that the internet was regulated, and internet service providers couldn't block or slow down content that they didn't agree with. But that's all changing now. The FCC plans to reverse net neutrality and give corporations the freedom that they want.
What can they do with this power?
Well, that's the scary part. They can slow down any service that they disagree with, block news outlets, or bring your web pages to a halt.
That's horrible. We as consumers need to have our voices heard and tell them to keep an open internet.
You better do it fast, because if net neutrality is restricted, then you might not have the platform to speak through.
Why is that?
Because the open internet is a platform for marginalized voices, if you want to question large internet providers, you will receive a one-way ticket to access denied.
Content removal, information restriction, speed throttling? It's just not fair. The public deserves equal access to the internet.
So call your representative, contact the FCC, let them know how you feel, and fight for an open and fair internet.
Hello? Ned? Anyone there?
The Mountain View Spartans held the lead at halftime. The Spartans leading throughout and coming away with a 56-36 win. Some bright spots for Independence playing, and it's just its second game. But Mountain View, Kira Palmbush, right here bagging her own groceries. Palmbush would lead all scorers with 18. Her teammate Audrey Telkamp put up 14. Mountain View was just a great balance of running the fast break and also utilizing their post players. Independence had some bright spots. There's a three going down from the freshman Sophie Mala. Palmbush with the rebound. And that's a great play from Lodia, as we see Telkamp with 2 of her 14 points. Independence getting blocked by Palmbush, really a difference maker. Again, Mountain View with 3 players that stand 6 feet or taller, all underclassmen. And at the line was Galindo. Galindo off the bench. She had 9 points, as did Lagme, to lead the way for Independence. And there's Galindo again. So Galindo, with play like that off the bench here so early in the season, could be a pivotal factor for Independence High School as this season goes on. And Independence, good effort from their players coming off the bench. They didn't lose a lot in terms of intensity. And again, 2 starters could not go tonight for the 76ers. And Mountain View with just too many answers, too many weapons in their arsenal, and the Spartans 56-36 to pick up win number 3 on the young season. That one loss coming to Notre Dame of San Jose. Independence just their second game. I'm sure plenty to learn for the 76ers. And again, these two head coaches, very good friends. Xavier Cook for Mountain View, Fred Yepes for Independence High. A lot of respect between these two head coaches. A big thanks to the folks here at Independence High School, including the athletic director, Ann Finney. Please pay attention to the credits, our hardworking staff at Bay Voice TV. On behalf of our entire crew, I'm Kirsten Fairchilds. So long from San Jose. It was a Mountain View kind of night. The Spartans 56-36 in the win. Good night, everyone.